Sir, am I audible now? Yeah. All right. So we have spoke about the passwords, the security types, and attacker types. Now it's time to understand what are the key elements that actually contribute to security. To understand that, this is what you should know. This is called CIA Triad Framework. CIA stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So previously, when I was talking about the guest scenario, you have a guest and the coffee thing and all. There, we have used a technique which is the guest. The guest is from Andhra. They speak Telugu, so you start speaking in Marathi so that they don't understand. So what did you actually do internally? You have taught the data in Telugu, converted into Marathi, and you have sent the data in Marathi. Your mother received it in Marathi, processed it in Telugu, and understood it. This process is called cryptography, right? So you make sure the data is not accessible to the unauthorized person by converting it into a different form. Here, when it comes to digital world, there is a process where you use a key instead of using languages. You use we all talk in bits, bytes in digital world, right? So you use this key and convert your data, encrypt your data into a coded format, which if you look at it, you won't understand anything. It would look like a gibberish. So you encrypt it, send it through the channel, and the sender will get the data, decrypt it, and seize the data. So why is it secured? How does it maintain the confidentiality? This maintains confidentiality because the key is known by only two people. One is sender and the other one is receiver. So if there is an attacker who is trying to take the data, who is trying to look at the data, because he or she does not have the key, he cannot look at the data. All right. This way you maintain the confidentiality of the data. When it comes to integrity, integrity is nothing but you make sure the data is not changed. So, for example, let's say in the physical world, go back to your family. You're talking to your mother, and your mother asked you to get 1 kilo onions and 2 kilo tomatoes. Now you keep repeating it in your mind so that you remember it, right? You go to the shopkeeper. On the way, you will see a friend who talks to you about what his mother asked him to bring, or what the rates of onions and tomatoes, all these things. He speaks all unwanted things, and he leaves. Now, by the time you reach the shopkeeper, you reach the shop, you get confused about how much onions you should get, how much tomatoes you should get. By mistake, you might say that you need 2 kilo onions and 1 kilo tomatoes. What happened here is, let's say your mother is the sender and your shopkeeper is the receiver, and you are the communication channel. Now, because there was a disturbance in the communication channel, which is your friend, the data at the sender and the data at the receiver are not same, which means the integrity of the data is lost. To make sure that you are not forgetting this, what does your mom do? She takes a paper, she writes your house address, and she tells 1 kg onions, 2 kgs tomatoes, and gives that paper to you. And you take this paper to the shopkeeper. Now, though your friend comes and talks to you in the middle, the data is not changed because it's written on a paper which cannot be changed, right? This in the digital world is called as digital signature. So, similar to encryption technique, we have a technique for digital signature where the person, the sender, loads the data and signs it digitally and sends to the receiver, so that when the receiver is receiving the message, seeing the sign, he can decide whether the data is sent by the sender, original sender, or is there any integrity changes in middle. So there is an attack called man in the middle attack, which means there will be a attacker in middle of the conversation and trying to either hijack the conversation or change the conversation, right? To overcome this, they have come up with an idea called digital science to keep the integrity of data. All right. The third element that we should consider about is availability. So availability is nothing but if an authorized user wants to look at that data or a system, we should make sure the system is available. Going back to physical world, let's say your mom cooks food every day and she serves you food once you go home from college. Now, every day when you go home, you ask, Mom, I'm hungry, and she serves you food. Let's say today, by the time you go home, your mom is going to temple. She went to temple. She's not available at home. In that scenario, she makes sure that she tells your father that if kids come home, make sure you serve the food. So here you are the authorized user. You have all the authority to access food. Your mom is server. I mean, like email server or you have servers for web pages, right? Now, if one server is down, you make sure you have a backup server which will be available for the authorized user so that when you are hungry, you don't have to stay hungry. You have some other server who can actually get you food. You don't have to, worry about it. So this is called availability. When you're sure that confidentiality, integrity, and availability are maintained, then your data and your system is safe. You don't have to worry about it. Now that we know these are the three major elements you should worry about, let's see what do we need? We need a architecture to maintain this. Let's see what is that architecture. The architecture is called AAA architecture. AAA stands for authentication, accounting, and authorization. So what is authentication? It is a process of providing access to the system. Coming to the physical world, now let's say you are a student, you enter your college. So only students, teachers, and people who are identified by the college can enter into the college, right? So random people cannot just enter into the college like that. So when you're entering into your college, your security guard asks you for identity card, right? This is your authentication. So authentication works on three major principles. First principle is what you know. So when you come to digital world, what you know can be your username password or can be your pin code, your pass key, or any other things that only you know about it. All right. And the second principle is what you have. What you have is either an identity card, as we spoke earlier, or an access card, or any kind of tokens that you can scan, right? These are something what you have. And the third principle that you need to authenticate yourself is what you are. When it comes to what you are, it talks about your biometrics, your fingerprints, your iris scanner, facial recognition, all these things. Nowadays, every mobile have that facial recognitions and all that stuff, right? So these are the three major principles of authentication. Make sure you have either of these three: what you know, what you have, and what you are. Coming to the second A, it is about accounting. This is like you enter into the college, it's fine. But where are you going? Are you going to the class or are you going to the library? If you're going to staff room. So if you're going to a library, you write your name and you sign it there to make sure you have a log, you have a record that you entered the library. Similarly, when you enter into the class, your professor takes the attendance to make sure you are sitting in the class and listening to the class, right? So accounting is nothing but keeping track of user activity inside the system here inside the college, right? So we make sure every step that is taken under a username is being recorded so that future implications can be avoided, right? Then the third A in the architecture stands for authorization. Authorization is a bit tricky. It gets confusing sometimes. So now you have entered into your college doesn't mean you can do anything in your college, right? So you have different areas of access, right, in your college. For example, your classroom, library, and staff room. Let's take your classroom. When you enter you can enter your classroom, but all you can do in your classroom is listen to the professor, take notes, study, etc. All you can do in your library is access the notes that are available in your library, read it, study, etc. But when it comes to library, you can take the data that's present in the library and study it. You cannot write a book and put it in the library, right? You are not authorized for it. So it is important whether you're authorized to perform an activity or not, irrespective of you're allowed to it or not. You're allowed to many places, but you should make sure you're doing only something that you're authorized to, right? But when it comes to professors, even though they go to library, they take books, some professors are authorized to write a book, to make a curriculum for you and put that curriculum into your library, right? So you should make sure the authorization is also important for a person when you are entering into a system. So when you verify authentication, authorization, and accounting, this architecture helps you overcome majority of the security issues that you go through in a company. So coming to the summary of this presentation, we have talked about five major points here. The first point is that cyber security is protecting the digital world from cyber attacks. The second point is we have two kind of attackers, that is intruders and insiders, and we should have a very careful view for insiders because we never know what happens, right? And the third point we have seen is we have five major types of security um, that are to be taken care of: infrastructural security, environmental security, administrative, physical, and information. I would also give you a note on this that different people have different names for the security. Some places, administrative security is called as organizational security. Some places, information security is called as technical security. So names might differ from place to place, but the concept behind it stays the same. Right. So the third point that we have concluded is that confidentiality, integrity, and availability are the core elements to be secured in a system or an organization. And the last point that we have concluded is that authentication, accounting, and authorization architecture is used to help secure the digital world. I hope you all remember all these points, and you also remember that you take care of the passwords that you use in your system. And also, finally, I would like to close it with a thing telling that I would recommend every one of you to use two-factor authorization or multi-factor authorization to make sure you are having a secure digital world around you. Thank you. Feel free to ask if there are any questions. Let's save the digital world together.
Yeah, students as such, they have no queries because it is extremely a new topic for those people.
Yeah, yeah, sir. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
But I have a question. I would ask you to share your way of education in India, way of education in US for 2 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the major problem that I've faced, like I would not say problem, it's a major challenge that I've faced once I entered US is the education system. So in India, we have a curriculum, we know what to do. We have professors who tells us what to study, what curriculum we have, important questions, though we don't admit it, most of the places it happens. And we also have study guides and all these things. But when it comes to US, you have nothing called a curriculum. You just have the chapter names, and they just give you a summary of it, and you are supposed to take up a project that you think will be relevant to the concept, and you should work on the project and learn in that process. So there is nothing like teaching and listening. There is more of like hands-on experiences through which you learn the concepts physically. That's the major difference, and it's really tough doing that, because at the end of the semester you will have an examination asking the questions, and you don't know what are the questions going to be. So you make sure you take the projects are mostly relevant, and you learn it throughout, so that you don't have to, fail your examinations and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Shruti, thank you very much for your nice time. I hope it is almost over the midnight there. Thanks for sharing your
It's
uh, experiences and knowledge with our students. Thank you very much.
glad for the opportunity, sir.